Americans are screaming for us to take off our red jerseys on this side, to take off the blue jerseys on that side, and put on the red, white, and blue jerseys of the United States of America.
He's one of the rarest birds in Congress, a moderate. Republican Congressman Stephen LaTourette of Ohio has served nearly 9 terms and was poised to win a 10th. Do you feel battered?
Sometimes.
But instead, he's walking away from a place that, in his view, is stuck in the mud.
The things that were no-brainers when I got here 18 years ago, such as transportation bills, student loan bills, we now have to fight about everything. And if it becomes a Republican bill, then the Democrats aid it and vice versa.
It's that partisan.
There's no common ground. Well, thank you all for coming. And
LaTourette says he's been a party man all his life. President George W. Bush, in a term of endearment, called him Big Ugly. But he's been called a lot worse by his fellow Republicans.
Have you been called a traitor?
Oh, sure. Oh, yeah. On a variety of things.
His crime, as he sees it, was compromise, in a place where people who reach across the aisle sometimes get their hands slapped hard.
Have you been told you're out of line, you need to toe the line?
All the time. I have more whip marks from the whip on my back than most people here. Now, you're not only getting shot at by the Democrats, but you're getting shot by your own team. I mean, you're taking friendly fire on this whole notion that you're not a good enough Republican, you're not a good enough Democrat. And that really wears you down.
A former prosecutor from Lake County, Ohio, LaTourette won his seat in the great GOP tidal wave of '94. But he wasn't afraid to break ranks with fellow Republicans, like a vote against defunding National Public Radio and a vote for a measure that would raise taxes.
Look, there it is.
Who? What?
The Capitol Dome.
Yes, sir. Big as life. Been there a long time now.
Jimmy Stewart's Mr. Smith went to Washington as a wide-eyed innocent who was undone by a political machine.
I guess this is just another lost cause, Mr. Payne.
Were you Jimmy Stewart?
No.
Were you wide-eyed coming in thinking I can make a difference?
I couldn't find I couldn't find the bathroom here, but...
But he did have a Mr. Smith moment of his own this year.
Well, if not now, when? And if not this, what?
When he co-sponsored a tough love budget plan with a Democratic colleague that would slash spending and raise taxes. It looked like a winner at first.
So wait, just to clarify, you had more than 100 members who said, we support you on this.
Oh, absolutely. We had 100 members show up at a press conference endorsing the plan. We had 100 members sign a letter saying that this was the way to go, that we needed to get the big deal.
What happened to them?
Well, I'm going to tell you what happened. What happened is the forces on the left and the right began flooding their offices with emails and phone calls and faxes, and that makes people nervous here. And so that number shrank and shrank and shrank.
In the end, only 38 voted with him. And in LaTourette's view, his political goose was cooked.
Are you somehow tainted because you offered this compromise and it didn't work out?
I think my brand is damaged in terms of being effective enough to do the things that needed to be done here and get 218 votes on something. I don't think I have that ability.
But that does sound like you went to the playground and people didn't play with you and you said fine and you threw down your toys and you went home.
Yeah, it sounds like that, but it's, to me at least, and people can say, well, you're a big fat quitter, but I'll tell you that again, every day you're in this job, you have to balance the personal cost against what you can do.
And for the married father of 6, just being in Washington for 18 years took a toll.
I always love it when I turn on the TV and they say, Congress has gone home for a 3-month vacation. Well, that's a bunch of crap. I mean, we work from the time the sun comes up to the time the sun goes down, and it doesn't matter whether it's here in Washington or back in our districts. And so that's time away from soccer games, recitals, ballet.
Has not put forward a parliamentary inquiry.
So the gentleman from Ohio says Congress can bicker on.
The House shall stand in recess for not more than 15 minutes.
Without him.
It's a pox on both houses, both parties, and they need to say, you know what? This is dysfunctional. I mean, if this was a family, we'd be in a psychiatric hospital because we are just not getting along in the way that we have to.
So what are you going to do now?
I don't know yet, but I'm only 58. I got to get a job, and so if CBS is hiring, call me.